The woods don't just go quiet by accident. When the atmosphere turns this frigid, it means death is lurking nearby. There is no heads up, no noise. Just a coiled shadow biding its time for that single, unchangeable split second. Out here, serpents don't burn calories, chasing things down. They strategize. They hold still. And when they finally snap, it is over, before your brain even registers the movement. This isn't just a messy brawl. It is absolute surgical accuracy. The most effective trap in the natural world, springing exactly as nature intended. Concealed under a mesh of foliage and dipping boughs, a giant venomous predator slides ahead with disciplined purpose. Each shift is calculated. Every standstill has a reason. This reptile isn't wandering aimlessly. It is zoning in on thermal signatures, ground tremors, and chemical trails. Up ahead, another unsuspecting creature is drifting right into the kill zone. There won't be a cinematic standoff or a miraculous exit strategy. The hunter zeroes in, muscles pulling tight like a drawn bowstring. Then contact. The stillness shatters with a supersonic lunge, fangs sinking in with ruthless exactitude. The tussle is abrupt, aggressive, and short-lived. As the victim contorts and flails, every survival reflex kicks into high gear. Sinews bunch up, bodies thud against the dirt. But this predator was engineered for exactly this kind of chaos. The toxin it injects isn't merely poisonous. It is a precision weapon. It is built to overload agile prey before they can mount a defense. In moments, the scales tip. Vitality drains away. Speed evaporates. The finale is already written. In a different sector, another reptile sweeps the clearing. A frog sits close by, oblivious that its countdown has already started. When the serpent lunges, the amphibian jumps in panic, puffing itself up in a desperate bid to become too big to eat. It nearly succeeds. Nearly. The snake recalibrates, strikes a second time, and refuses to let go. This isn't anger. It is evolutionary perfection honed over eons. Out here, pausing is fatal. These reptiles thrive because they never second guess. They adjust on the fly, switching tactics if the initial hit doesn't stick. The jaw pressure ramps up. The coils constrict. The victim fades. What resembles patience is actually absolute dominance. These aren't random skirmishes. They are the work of flawless killing machines functioning precisely as designed. Quiet, methodical, unstoppable. If you want to see how these lethal ambushers turn a minor slip-up into a death sentence, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around. The intensity is only going to ramp up in the next segment. The true horror of a snake isn't just its velocity, it is the stamina. Once it commits to a kill, it doesn't count on disorder or raw power. It leans on compression, perfect timing, and a terrifying stillness. Elsewhere in the bush, a muscular constrictor is closing the gap on a meal much bigger than its own skull. At first look, it seems absurd. The target fights back, hard kicking and writhing with every ounce of strength. But physical size becomes irrelevant once those loops start to tighten. The reptile is in no hurry. It wraps its frame around the victim with mathematical care, layering muscle over muscle, tweaking its hold every time the prey exhales. This isn't about crushing bones. The skeleton stays whole. Instead, every gentle squeeze cuts off the air. Supply robs the blood of oxygen, and saps energy faster than sheer panic ever could. The victim struggles more, but every twitch just speeds up the fatigue. This is the point where most creatures lose the battle without even knowing it. As the fight dies down, the snake holds firm. It waits. Constrictors know what many other predators miss. Staying alive isn't about being fast. It is about outlasting the other guy. Once the prey stops moving, the real labor starts. The snake realigns its mouth, starting head first. Limbs tuck in smoothly, reducing drag. The process that follows is gradual, rhythmic, and physically exhausting. Swallowing can take a grueling amount of time, but the payoff is huge. A single good catch can keep the snake fueled for weeks on end. Not far away, a smaller scene plays out. A frog almost gets away, body bloated, legs kicking furiously in a last gasp for freedom. For a heartbeat, it looks like it might actually make it. But snakes are experts at course correction. The hunter shifts its grip, gets better leverage, and takes charge again. The window for escape slams shut as fast as it opened. These encounters are savage, but they aren't reckless. Every motion has a function. Every choice is weighed. Snakes don't gloat over a win. They save their strength, pull back to the shadows, and vanish into the terrain that makes them so deadly. If you are captivated, by the way, patience and accuracy dictate who lives and dies in the wild. Smash like, subscribe, and keep your eyes on the screen. The next part unveils attacks that are even swifter and deadlier. Velocity turns fatal when you add perception to the mix. Some serpents don't wait for dinner to walk up to them. They detect motion from the rear, the flanks from blind spots most creatures ignore. One sloppy footprint is all it takes. A small rodent trots through the weeds, self-assured, preoccupied, not knowing it is already on the radar. The reaction is instantaneous. No rattling warning, no wavering, just a blisteringly fast combo of bites delivered with laser precision. Venomous stalkers are designed for economy. Their chemical cocktail is brewed to crash the system, immediately attacking nerves and muscle tissue before the victim realizes it is in trouble. The strikes hit in a blur, each one amping up the dosage. In seconds, motor skills vanish. Limbs turn to jelly. Running away isn't on the table anymore. The threat is essentially over long before the heart stops beating. Unlike messy brawls, the aftermath here is silent. The snake doesn't rush in to chow down. It hangs back. This isn't mercy. It is tactics. The venom needs a moment to circulate, ensuring the meal is totally incapacitated. Energy is saved. Danger is neutralized. Only when the target is completely still does the feeding commence. Not every hunt happens on solid ground. In the shallows and thick reeds, snakes switch gears. A quick tongue flick tastes the water and air, picking up chemical breadcrumbs. With a sudden surge, the reptile shoots upward, grabbing prey in midair. Slick skin is no defense against rear-facing fangs evolved to stop things from slipping away. The snake instantly pulls back to cover, hauling its prize away from the open, where thieves might try to snatch it. Every habitat offers a new puzzle, and serpents crack them all. Wetlands, grasslands, the forest floor, it is all the same. Their anatomy is a toolkit optimized for total domination. Even when the prey seems to be putting up a fight, puffing up, spinning, kicking, the result is rarely in doubt. Elastic jaws open impossibly wide. Skull plates move on their own. The impossible becomes standard procedure. These kills aren't flukes. They are scripted finales, hardwired into their DNA. The victim never really had a shot, it just hadn't realized it yet. If this segment had you on the edge of your seat, hit like, subscribe for more unfiltered nature, and don't go anywhere. The next part takes the intensity up to a whole new level. Sometimes staying alive means vanishing. A lizard goes still in the foliage, banking on camouflage that has been refined for generations. Its skin tones melt into the background profile, flattened, breathing suppressed. For a second it works, but snakes don't just use their eyes. They feel the ground hum. They sample the breeze. They pick up on things others miss. One twitch is enough to blow the whole cover. The attack is immediate. The serpent shoots forward, jaws clamping tight as loops of muscle rope around the panicked body. The response is pure reflex. The lizard thrashes wildly, burning every bit of fuel to break loose. But Constriction isn't a brute force brawl. It is about suppression. The snake squeezes in rhythmic pulses, modifying its hold with lethal smarts. Circulation drops. Taking a breath becomes impossible. Panic just speeds up the burnout. This is how snakes wrap things up fast. They don't crush the prey into submission. They let the victim exhaust itself. Every struggle cuts the timer short. Every twitch brings the end that much closer. A few moments later, the fight is gone. The coils slacken just enough to adjust the angle. The hunt is already history. Nearby, in murky waters choked with weeds, another scene plays out. A frog sits frozen, trusting the muck to conceal it. But the water provides no sanctuary. The predator drifts quietly under the surface, barely rippling the green. In a fraction of a second, it strikes, entangling the frog before it can even think about jumping. There is no pursuit, no do-over, just a sudden vanishing act beneath the loops. What makes these events so disturbing is how quickly they conclude. One moment, total peace. The next, survival is off the table. Snakes win because they erase hesitation. They weaponize stillness and turn disorder into dominance. These hunters don't gamble. They deal in absolutes. Once they launch, the verdict is already in. If you are hooked on how accuracy and raw instinct dictate life and death in the wild, smash that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. The final segment brings the ultimate wrap-up to these intense showdowns. Ultimately, the wild doesn't give prizes for size, velocity, or anger alone. It rewards perception. Every attack you have seen obeys the same harsh law: he who hesitates is lost. Snakes endure because they outweight the prey, strike faster than fear can register, and vanish before the tables can turn. To the victim, the end feels abrupt and unjust. To the snake, the result was etched in stone before a muscle even twitched. There is no fury in these moments, no victory lap after the kill. What remains is quiet, a strategic withdrawal, fuel banked for the next hunt. Behold nature, working at its deadliest peak, where staying alive relies on discipline, waiting, and perfect timing. Each bite evens the score, showing the wild is not mean, just surgical. Such seconds prove why serpents endure as the world's most capable slayers.